another SEP. Now, how do I know that they've already used their LIS or their Medicaid SEP?
You can check through CMS.
We can check through CMS. I was granted the approval by CMS. Took like 8 weeks. Had to go through a background check. I think it was like an FBI background check. And they approved me. They also approved Billy Cox. So we have 2 individuals within our organization that we can check to see if they've experienced or if they have used their LIS or their Medicaid SEP. Does that make sense?
Yes. I thought you could use COVID as like a disaster.
COVID was the case in 2020, but in 2021, COVID is not the case.
Not really.
Okay? You have 3 months from the date of the disaster being declared. 3 months from the date of the disaster being declared that you can take advantage. So if COVID was declared on March 13th of 2020, 3 months are up. COVID was an anomaly for Medicare because they did allow it through the entire year of 2020. So it was like AEP the entire year.
Quick question.
It was like it just unheard of.
So when the disaster was declared, you have 3 months, even if it is an ongoing disaster. So it doesn't have to be. It's only from the start date of that.
From the date of the date of the disaster, you have the declaration date. You have 3 months from the date of declaration.
Even if it is an ongoing emergency. The 3 months are concrete.
Yes.
That's it. Okay.
Even if it's an ongoing emergency. Charlie, Zach, Giovanni, you guys got that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
You're essentially saying that the disaster itself is why you weren't able to change the plan, because you were affected by the disaster. So you qualified for change, but you couldn't for those 3 months because of the disaster.
Correct.
So I may be getting ahead of myself, but on the enrollment form, are you going to, like, for example, with an Affordable Care Act, when you go to quote it, are you going to have to state your reason? Or
Oh yeah.
You gotta,
when you submit the application, which there's no VAR needed for this. You're the only person that can be on the phone with this person to enroll them.
Yep.
So if we move to Medicare only, do we need verifiers?
No.
Uh-oh. You're the only person that can communicate with this with the client or the prospect. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you're submitting the application to the carrier,
For customer service.
you have to put down the SCP. And if it's not a valid SCP, what are they going to do, Blake?
They refuse enrollment.
They're going to refuse the enrollment. So you've wasted your time and the client's time. If it's not a valid SCP, they won't approve the application and you've accomplished nothing. Does that make sense? So we need valid SCPs to help these people.
Do you just have to put the SCP, or do you have to put the reason why they couldn't sign up?
In the date.
You have to put the SCP, but there's going to be a check and balance. The carrier is going to follow. They're going to check to see if they have LIS. They're going to check to see if their LIS was or their SCP was used for LIS. If you put down FEMA as your SCP, they're going to check to see through FEMA.gov if there was a disaster declaration in that area upon time of submission on that application, which is time-stamped.
Are they accepting or refusing within that same call, or is it a process?
No, they're not accepting or refusing within the same call. It takes generally about a week to a week and a half, sometimes up to 3 weeks. What was your question?
Can you clarify if it were, say, May 27th, the declaration of disaster took place?
You have May, June, through the end of July.
Okay, so it's 2 months and 3 days. It's not-
In that situation, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
How would we know what state has a FEMA?
Well, I've been putting out FEMA messages for everybody, and in fact, on your folder that you have, on the front of it, you're going to get a disaster declaration list of current active disaster declarations. We also have an API that's integrated into our CRM from FEMA.gov. You could put the client's phone number or zip code in, and it will let you know if they are currently under a disaster declaration or any active disaster declarations within that zip code. Okay, I've already done that. I did that back in January for you guys. Okay, Bobby did, and Mike and Tom. Okay, good questions. Anybody have any other questions about this? So what do we need to be able to enroll somebody, Carter? An SCP.
Or an AEP.
Or we got to be an AEP.
Or an AEP.
Everyone understand? Is it starting to come together now a little bit?
Is it the same thing for AEP where you can only change them once during that period?
Good question. You can AEP as many times as you want. Last person in, last app in wins. So if you guys aren't buttoning up your clients and they get another call from another person offering them a new plan, uh-oh.
These girls are the pretty. These guys are the pretty girls at the party, aren't they?
You're going to lose out. Last app in wins. When's the last day of enrollment?
7th of December.
December the 7th.
Till next.
You got to button them up. If you don't button them up, uh-oh.
Well, and the button up is in the script anyway.
Yeah, it is the script.
That is the part of the call flow.
Yeah.
During AAP, they don't need the underwriting questions to do that for that, or that's just for the supplement?
Do I need underwriting questions ever with a Medicare Advantage plan?
No.
Guaranteed issue.
It's guaranteed. Yeah.
How do I get a Medicare Advantage plan, John?
You have it either through AAP or SAP for the Medicare Advantage, which
That's it. No underwriting questions. Okay? Any questions? No? Good. Any questions at home, people?
Nope.
Okay. OEP. Oh boy. OEP. Here we go. Let's confuse you guys a little bit more. Open enrollment period. There is an open enrollment period. All right. AEP is a time whenever you have Medicare Advantage, you can switch to a new Medicare Advantage, or if you only have original Medicare, you can get into a Medicare Advantage plan. OEP is for people that only have Medicare Advantage plans to switch. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan and you're an OEP, can you get a new Medicare Advantage plan? If you only have original Medicare and you're an OEP, can you get a Medicare Advantage plan? Mixed answers.
But can you switch them out of the Advantage plan if they don't have Part B? Outside of open
OEPs are for
You can't get them to use off part.
You can even give them Advantage there.
Let me repeat. Okay, guys? AEP is if you have original Medicare, which original Medicare is what, Eric? A and B. And you want to enroll into a Medicare Advantage plan. Cool, you can do it. If you're an AEP and you have a Medicare Advantage plan, can you purchase a new, or can you enroll into a new one during AEP?
Yes.
Yeah. OEP is from January 1st through March 31st. OEP, in order for you to switch, you already have to have a Medicare Advantage plan. If you only have original Medicare and you're an OEP, can you get a Medicare Advantage plan?
No.
Nope.
members only.
Members only. Yeah, exactly. Unless you have a what?
SCP.
Or which is LIS, Medicaid, or FEMA, or they moved.
About 20 of them.
About 20 of them. Most common ones are the ones we just went over. Everyone understand? I know this is a little confusing, okay? We could still submit SCPs during the OEP. What's up, Tiara?
So OEP is just Advantage to Advantage.
Advantage to Advantage. You're exactly
The
right.
name is misleading. You would think it would be reversed.
It is extremely misleading,
You would think it would be the other way.
but it's our job to understand and comprehend this entirely, okay? Can also submit MAPD to a new MAPD, just like you said, MA to MA, MAPD to MAPD. Everyone understand that? Melissa, you got that? You sure? Say it again, I'm sorry.
So it's just MA to MA, for example, and then like MAPD to
If you have MA, can you go to MAPD? Yeah, you have an Advantage plan.
The MA is the important part.
Yeah. Question? Okay. Anyone else? You have a question? You didn't hear that? If she's in OEP, which is from January 1st through March 31st, and she has an MA plan, not an MAPD, can she get a new MAPD? Yeah, she has an Advantage plan. Advantage to Advantage during OEP. AEP, if I have Advantage, I can go to a new Advantage plan. But if I don't have Advantage, and I only have Original Medicare during AEP, I can enroll into a new one. But if I'm in OEP, I can only go to Advantage to Advantage.
Unless we can find them an SAP.
Unless you have an SEP.
So if you got plan only, you cannot get an Advantage.
If you're in OEP and you have Original Medicare, can you enroll into an MAPD?
No.
Eric,
Unless you have a special.
if it's February 2nd and you only have Original Medicare, can you get a Medicare Advantage plan? No. Good. Unless you have a what? An SEP.
The grand hierarchy of things, SEP trumps everything so far.
Somewhat. Okay? There's a very large timeline for these people to make changes.
Yes.
This is why we can do this year round. But our job is to find SEPs or to take advantage of the AEP or the OEP. But we can't double dip. If somebody's already used that SEP for LIS, we better find another SEP because the carrier is going to deny the application. There is a check and balance system that they go through. Okay? Omar? Good.
Until next quarter.
Till next quarter. In fact, I can see that on my CMS log, and I can see that they used their LIS SEP, and I can see the date that they used it.
So I'd imagine you see people sometimes at almost every quarter or just...
Correct. All right. Two types of plans. We are referencing the Medicare Advantage right now. Two types of plans people are generally offered. Health maintenance organizations, HMOs, versus PPOs, preferred provider organization. If I have a PPO Medicare Advantage plan, can I choose any doctor?
Any Medicare Advantage doctor that's in network.
Out-of-network costs are higher.
Correct.
And then like the doctor itself from Medicare.
I don't know. I'm guessing again. Just tell me.
If I have a Medicare Advantage plan that's a PPO plan, can I choose any doctor? No. I can choose any doctor that's in that network. If they're not participating within that PPO network, can I see them, Kedrick? Nope. I can maybe if they have what, Blake?
If they have out-of-network benefits on their PPO, which is usually 40% co-insurance, they're better off with Medicare.
If the plan specifies that I have out-of-network coverage, then the plan doesn't have out-of-network coverage. Can I go see them with the plan? Yeah, but you're going to be paying out of pocket. It's not going to be covered by the insurance.
The price is like U65.
No.
It works totally.
No.
They're in or out of network.
You're either in
There's no living in the gray area here. Either they're in network or they're not in network.
Now, this is with the network of doctors that accept Medicare Advantage plans.
No, they accept that particular network. Some doctors will take Anthem, but they won't take Anthem MediBlue Access. They'll take Anthem MediBlue Dual Access.
Correct, but first they have to accept Advantage plans to begin with because that's different Medicare.
All doctors take Medicare.
Okay.
Not all doctors take Medicare Advantage plans.
Trying to get
That's not like the Affordable Care Plan, so it seems like not seeing that customer service.
It's nothing like the Affordable Care Act.
I was just asking that question.
Nothing like it.
There's some parts doctor except for the specific plans.
It's not like the Affordable Care Act, guys. This has no relation to it whatsoever. If the doctor takes five Medicare application, or if the doctor accepts Medicare, great.
He's got to accept your plan.
They may only take 3.
But they have to accept that plan's network. Does that make sense?
Is that easily find out or searchable by us, or is that not something we want to?
Yes, we have a provider search tool.
Okay.
You're talking about Advantage, you're not talking about original Medicare.
I'm talking about Advantage. Yeah. Each Advantage plan is assigned a PPO or an HMO network. If that doctor doesn't take that particular network, can you go see the doctor? Will the plan cover the doctor visit?
No. If it allows
No.
for out of network, no.
Don't even get into that, guys.
Right. Right.
The number one complaint that these people will have is their prescription coverage or my doctor. If you're living in the area of, well, you can go see the doctor, but you're going to have out-of-pocket expense or out-of-network coverage, don't even do it. Don't even do it. It's not worth it. They're going to complain, and it's going to fall on your shoulders because you did that. And if they complain, and it's a founded complaint, that goes against you. If you get founded complaints, they'll cut your contract. They won't allow you to offer these plans anymore. If they cut your contract, bye-bye. We can't do business together anymore. Everyone understand the severity of that? Do not put yourselves or leave yourself susceptible to, trying to make a quick sale because the person is kind of wishy-washy. And you want to get the sale because you say, oh man, I'm so far behind this week. Benefits are great, the plan's great, she likes the plan, doctor doesn't take the plan. You got to tell her. You better tell her the doctor doesn't take the plan. Can I assign her a new doctor? Oh yeah. But I got to tell her, hey, Dr. So-and-so doesn't take this plan. If you still like the benefits of the plan, I can assign you a new doctor. Do you prefer male or female? No, I want to keep my doctor. Well, then we need to look at a different plan. Or they'll say, okay, that's fine. You prefer male or female? Female, great. Let's do a quick provider search tool. If I have an HMO, that means I'm given a what kind of doctor?
Primary care.
Primary care physician. HMO plans, you are given a primary care physician. That primary care physician is going to be the gatekeeper. HMO plans, you're given a PCP. You have to go to see your PCP before you can see any specialist. That PCP has to write you a referral to see a specialist. Can you assign a specialist as a PCP?
No.
Nah. Got to be a general practitioner, internal medicine, family practitioner. What's up?
Can you clarify, when we talk to ACA or whatever, we'll always tell the member that the computer list of providers is not necessarily current. Is that the same in Medicare?
No.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
He means like the search tool isn't always accurate, and they'll say that there's a doctor in network, but it actually isn't because they pulled out.
No, he said,
Whoever's microphone that is, please mute it.
Unfortunately, Tom, that does happen.
he said before, let's say the effective date's August 1st, if they try to call June 26th, they're going to say it's not active. Is it the same for
I don't
Medicare?
think that's what he's
That's
asking.
not what he said at all.
No?
No.
Accuracy of the
Sometimes
search tool, I think, is the question.
He's asking about how often.
It's accurate on Medicare.
It's updated, I think is what he's asking.
Yeah, he's asking
Say it again.
As he said, the accuracy of the search tool.
Hey, if the accuracy of if the search tool says it's in network, it's in network. I did what I was supposed to do. I used Anthem's provider search tool. It said it was there. It gave me a PCP ID number, which is a 9-digit, 7-digit number, 8-digit number, right? I put it on the application. Where did I get it? Well, Anthem search tool. That's not on me.
You don't just tell him he's selected.
If the doctor doesn't notify Anthem that they no longer will accept their plans, and there's not really much we can
If the doctor is in the provider search tool, I did my job.
Because it gives you a number to reference.
Because it shows the doctor's in network and it shows that that doctor accepts this particular plan. I can find the doctor in the provider search tool, but then I have to see if that doctor accepts that particular MAPD plan. They may accept only 3 of the WellCare plans that they have. And then the other 7 of them I can't offer. Or I got to tell the person, hey, they don't take this plan, but they'll take this one. Here's the difference in benefits. Okay? If the doctor's in the provider search tool, you did your job. If the doctor's in the provider search tool and he doesn't accept that plan, you got to tell the client. You cannot just breeze over that. Say, oh, I found him. No. He accepts the plan or he does not accept the plan. It's definitive. It's black and white. There's no gray area here. Okay? The biggest complaints we get, prescriptions, doctors. We send the call to Medicare or to the carrier, and you don't thoroughly explain to the person the doctor's in network or not in network. That's a founded complaint, and that falls on your shoulders as a licensed insurance agent. Okay? Very, very important. Two types of plans that Medicare Advantage policies have. Either contracted PPO or an HMO. In HMO, you're given a what?
Primary care physician.
PCP. To see a specialist, you need a what? Referral. Do I need that with PPOs? No. Nah. Do I still need to check the doctors and the PPO? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just because it's PPO doesn't mean you get to see any doctor in any hospital. PPO stands for Preferred Provider Organization. It's a network.
Yeah, Jesse.
Make sense, guys? Okay. HMOs, again, versus PPOs, we kind of know the difference already, but let's go over it. Health Maintenance Organization, you're going to be given or awarded a PCP who will coordinate your benefits or refer you to see a specialist. Think of a specialist or a PCP as a gatekeeper. You have to see them first before you can see any specialist. PPO, Preferred Provider Organization, insured can receive care from any doctor that they choose, but they will save money by choosing a provider in the network. No referral to see a specialist. Okay, another illustration. Medicare penalties. Penalties for not having Medicare Parts B and D. If you're eligible for Medicare A and B and you have it and you don't enroll into Part D, you will be given an LEP. That is a late enrollment penalty. If you are eligible for Medicare Part A and you don't opt into Part B, when you do opt into Part B, later in life, you're going to be given a penalty.
But you're not penalized if you work.
If you have credible coverage, then you are not faced with a penalty. Whoever's microphone that is, please mute it.
Yeah, some people can stay on their group plan, I've seen, until well past.
Because it's a qualifying health plan.
Right.
So they're given Part A, which is at no cost to them, but they're saying, I don't want to opt into Part B yet because I like my group insurance, I like my doctors, I don't need it. So I'm going to have my qualifying health plan act as my Part B. So I'm going to then defer my Part B effective date, which is what Blake was saying in the beginning. You'll have different Part A and Part B effective dates.
Yeah, that's
So in that scenario, how do they determine then what their... No, I want to use the right term, and I'm probably going to screw this up, but their IEP, their initial enrollment period.
So if I have a Part B, everyone listen, please. If I have Part B that starts on a different date than Part A, instead of it being my initial enrollment period, it's now my ICEP. And it changes when I can apply. We're going to get into that.
All right. That'll change the free pass period for that.
It'll change the dates that I can enroll into a new plan. Okay? Part B penalty, you must pay 10% for each year without Part B or credible coverage. So every year that you go without having Part B, you're going to be fined 10%. 10% of what?
Part B premium?
The Part B premium. Every year that you go without Part B, when you do finally opt into it, you're going to be given a 10% penalty.
Plus now you've also blown your ability to have...
medical coverage.
Right. Or now you get underwritten, right? When you do finally sign up.
Or if you go to a Medicare Advantage plan, is there underwriting? No. There's no underwriting.
Thank you.
If you don't have Part B, you don't have coverage for outpatient services, do you, Tom?
No. Just to clarify, over 88,000, 148.53.
Under 88,000.
Under.
If you earn less than $88,000, it's $148.50. If you're over, then it's more expensive for your Part B. Guys, don't get hung up on this, please. If they don't have A and B, can I get them a plan?
No, move on anyway.
Just move on with your day. Don't hang up on them. Come on, man. Let's please be nice to people. Okay? Call Social Security, call Medicare.gov, enroll into Part B. If they don't have A and B, I can't help them. I can't sell them a Medigap plan or a Medicare Advantage plan. So don't get hung up on this. It's not a big deal. Okay? Also, Part D. If they don't have Part D, you will run into that quite a bit. They're going to be charged a late enrollment penalty for every month that they haven't had Part D. So, if I haven't had Part D for 10 months, how much am I going to pay?
So 1% premium penalty for Part D.
1%, guys, Part D. Part D is in David. I'm going to be charged a 1% penalty for every month I didn't have Part D. 1% of what? 1% of the average cost of Part D. The average cost of Part D for 2021 is $33.16. Write that down. The average cost for Part D is $33.16. So, if I have 10 months without Part D, I do a simple equation. That simple equation is 33.16 times 0.1. And then that will tell me my late enrollment penalty. If I hadn't had Part D coverage for 72 months, to find out what their late enrollment penalty is going to be, I'm going to do $33.16 times 0.72.
And they pay that when they enroll in your...
They pay that monthly.
Oh, they're already getting dinged that right out of
No,
Security.
they're going to get, the moment they get into an MAPD plan, they're going to get hit
Then they're gonna get
with that late enrollment penalty. So if the MAPD plan is free, or excuse me, sorry, zero cost, and they have a late enrollment penalty, now that MAPD plan costs them money.
So you're going to about 3 and change a month over 72 months.
Okay. The equation is $33.16 times point, and then the amount of months that they've been uncovered. Can I see how many months they've been uncovered? Yes. You guys are going to have an MBI search tool that's going to show you how many months that they haven't had Part D. Does that make sense?
And they will pay that when they enroll in whatever we're enrolling.
Every month. Yes, sir.
Oh, crap. That's not a one-time piece penalty that accrues. That's a long-standing running monthly.
Lifetime.
Government ain't playing.
Okay? Any questions? Good. What are we looking for? SCPs. We are searching for people that have Medicare Part E and they have an SCP. Medicaid, LIS, or low income subsidy, FEMA. That's what we're going to find. You're going to run into some people that are new to Medicare. How often does that happen? Very rare. Hugh White's first MAPD that he sold, the person just happened to be within their IEP. It was the rarest thing I've ever seen. I don't know how that happened. First call he ever took, IEP. All right, let's go.
Like 2 virgins fucking in.
It's pretty easy, right? Now, plan selection. We're looking for plans with 0 premium. Okay. Generally, their Medicare Advantage plans are going to be at no cost to these people. If somebody has Medicare and Medicaid, they are eligible for what's known as an SNP. SNP stands for Special Needs Plan. There are things called DSNPs. D stands for dual, D-U-A-L. So if somebody has a D-SNP, what are they? Dual eligible. What does that mean that they have, George? Medicaid, Medicare. Somebody that has a DSNP plan, they can receive different benefits than somebody that doesn't have DSNP, meaning somebody that's just a regular Medicare Advantage recipient. DSNP plans have things like $0 copays for primary, specialist, urgent care, hospital, lab work, mental health. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? But you got to have Medicare and Medicaid. Okay? We're gonna get a look into the plan designs here in a few minutes. S&P plans are for people that have Medicaid, also known as D-SNPs. What's the D stands for in D-SNP?
Rural enrollment.
What's S&P stand for, Jess?
Special needs plan.
Special needs plan. Dual eligible special needs plan versus an HMO. Those are for people that don't have Medicaid. So if I have LIS, what kind of plan do I get? No. I only have LIS.
Special needs.
I get a regular Medicare Advantage plan. If I have Medicaid, then I'll get a SNP plan. So if I have LIS, can I apply somebody for a D-SNP?
No.
If I have only LIS, can I apply somebody for a D-SNP?
Buy them.
If I have LIS only, can I apply them for a D-SNP? Thank you. No, 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 no. I have a lot of agents that like to sell, new agents, that like to try to submit and sneak one through the cracks. If somebody has LIS and they don't have Medicaid and they apply them for a D-SNP and then the carrier gets it, the carriers have contracts with state Medicaid offices. They contact the state Medicaid office and they go, this guy doesn't have Medicaid. What do? They deny the application. The agent wastes his time and then he comes up to me during commission period and he goes, well, I don't understand why I didn't make any money. Well, you didn't submit the application correct, bud. If I have LIS only, do I get a D-SNP?
No.
Melissa, if I have LIS only, do I get a D-SNP? I get a regular HMO Medicare Advantage plan. Okay? Yes? If somebody's eligible for a D-SNP plan and I don't give them a D-SNP plan, am I hurting them?
Yes.
Big time. You're not helping them. Okay?
What do you gain from that?
A founded complaint.
So would it be fair to say most Medi-Medis or dual eligible are going to qualify for a D-SNP and you wouldn't want to do an MAPD?
Well, a D-SNP is an MAPD.
It's a type of an MAPD.
It's just a type of an
You're
MAPD.
going to almost automatically look for D-SNPs on the Medi-Medis.
Absolutely you are. What's the significance of Medi-Medi to us as agents?
Pennies from having.
Say it out loud. Say it. SEP. We got an SEP. Woo! We're in business. If I have an SEP, I can offer them a plan. The way this thing is designed is very simple. In U65, I try to say, stay away from benefits. Don't pitch benefits. How many times you guys heard me say that? Every day, all day. Medicare Advantage plans?
Pitch day benefits.
We pitch benefits. The benefits are amazing. They're stellar.
Trust me, I got your back.
No one is going to turn down benefits of a Medicare Advantage plan unless they have a Medigap plan. They're good. We want to pitch benefits. In fact, that's the only way that you guys can actually offer a plan. We aren't pitching people, we're advising people. There's no pitch. It's advising. Okay? Very important that you guys understand that concept. We cannot pitch Medicare beneficiaries. We can advise. Does that make sense? We can inform. We can inform, not even advise, right? We can inform. Just understand that, okay? All right. Next. We're going to look at two different options. Anthony, you said that somebody has a D-SNP plan. What are we going to be looking for?
Dual eligibility, yeah.
If somebody has Medicare and Medicaid.
You want to look at the top one.
You're going to try to bring them to a D-SNP.
Oh, yeah, we're going to try and find them a D-SNP plan. How do we find that? Well, on the quoting page, it shows you right here. It shows you HMO D-SNP, and then it shows you regular just HMO. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're going to see it right there when you pull up the carrier.
You're going to see it right there when you pull up the carrier. Everyone understand?
Hey, just as an overview, and I know it's probably benefit specific, but I mean, do they differ greatly? I mean, benefit-wise, is it a huge difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
D-SNP plans are unmatched compared to a regular Medicare Advantage plan.
Almost every benefit's zero.
Yeah.
Depends on what.
Okay? D-SNP plans are unparalleled to any other plan.
The best cost
They're the best.
reduction on an ACA you can get.
Okay? Medicaid levels. Not all Medicaid beneficiaries are the same. I have levels to different Medicaid. Meaning, how broke is a person? Let's be politically correct here. How unfortunate is a person compared to another?
You eating ramen or?
Okay, so moving forward, we have all levels of LIS. All Medicaid levels technically should not have to pay for Part B premiums. The top level of Medicaid, meaning the most unfortunate individual, monetarily speaking, is QMB Plus. QMB Plus. QMB, Qualified Medicare Beneficiary. Next level, QMB. Next level, FBDE. Full benefits. Does that make sense? FBDE, QMB Plus, then QMB, then FBDE, then we have Maggie. It's not D-SNP eligible. I have yet to see a Maggie. You guys won't see that too often. You will see Slim B. Slim B can be dual D-SNP eligible. So let's add another ripple to this thing. Not all D-SNP plans accept all Medicaid beneficiaries. There are certain D-SNP plans that are designed for certain Medicaid levels. So if I have somebody that has Slim B Medicaid, do they qualify for the highest level of D-SNP? Nah. They'll have another D-SNP plan that's designed for that person's level of Medicaid. Let me repeat that. Not all Medicaid beneficiaries will receive every D-SNP plan. The D-SNP plans will have certain varying degrees of Medicaid that they accept. So if I have an agent out there that says, I have 13 D-SNPs, 13 Medicare Advantage plans this week, and they're all D-SNP plans, and I don't know, 7 of them don't have the qualifying level of Medicaid, do they get issued? No, they don't. Because he doesn't have the level of Medicaid necessary to qualify for that D-SNP plan.
Not broke up, right?
Does that make sense?
But because they're Medi-Medi, they may still have that SCP. We just have to be careful.
They still have an SCP, but their level of Medicaid doesn't warrant them to get a specific D-SNP plan. So how do we figure out what D-SNP plans that these people are eligible for?
Gotta be
By
another
the
website.
LIS level and calling the carrier, right?
We call the carrier. We conference the client in with the carrier. The carrier says, what's your NPN, national producer number? What's the client's MBI? And what's their Medicaid number? Then they'll say, okay, here's the plans he's eligible for. Now we know which one to offer. Everyone understand? Yes? Any questions on that?
So we find the DSNP, just make sure we have to call the carrier and see as far as they qualify or not for it.
Yes.
To verify, call carrier.
Okay? This sounds like it's a lot. It's not. It's not. You guys have a very solid foundation of what Medicare Advantage is right now. Okay? We're going to be mainly looking at now the call flow. The call flow is what we're going to be mainly getting into next, meaning offering the plan. Okay? Slim B, we have QI, we're a qualifying individual. Look at that. Call guide. This is not a script. It's a call flow. One piece of advice. Don't change our call flow. If you do, I'm not going to allow you to take calls. I can't allow you. The call flow was approved by CMS. Every word of it was approved by CMS. If you change it, you're hurting yourself because I'm just not going to allow you to take the calls. Okay?
After your scope and after the...
Hold on. You're getting way ahead of them.
Oh, okay. Got it.
What's the call flow? Is that a script?
If you look at your documents that I handed you, people at home, we have two different call flows. We have the pre-enrollment call flow and we have the enrollment call flow. Your interactions with these people needs to be broken up into two separate calls. You have a pre-enrollment call and an enrollment call. Don't change anything. Our top producers will tell you this. If you add one extra word to the call flow, they get angry. They get upset. It's unnecessary. And now you're leaving yourself susceptible to a founded complaint by CMS. Because now you're using unapproved verbiage by CMS. So, do we omit information from the call flow?
No.
Why?
Because you must read the call flow.
Because you got to read the call flow. Do we add to the call flow?
No.
No. Now you're leaving yourself susceptible to a founded complaint. Okay? I really can't stress that enough, guys, okay? Really cannot stress enough not to change the call flow. Okay, Sai? I know you're going to be great at this because you have them memorized. You'll have it down in no time.
If I may real quick, it doesn't even matter what a specific complaint is. If you have a complaint calling against you, I have to submit all the calls in defense. If the rest of your call is you off the call flow, now they have a copy of you going all over the place for a complaint you didn't even get yet. So now you just buried yourself for no reason.
Yeah. It's a key word right there. He said you guys could bury yourselves, right? If you don't stick to the call flow, now you're using unapproved verbiage from that Medicare doesn't know. You're just digging your own grave. Okay? Really important. Again, they will listen to every single call. We audit our calls internally. Every single interaction that you guys have, Blake listens to. And then when he listens to it, he sends it to the carrier. And then the carrier has 4 separate people through our upline. We have 4 separate people, 4 sets of ears that listen to your call. If he doesn't catch it, next person will. If they don't catch it, the next person will. If they don't catch it, the last person will. If you used unapproved verbiage, you have 4 sets of ears and eyes listening and looking at what you sold. And we can't protect you from that. What we can protect you, or how we can protect you, is if you stick to the call flow. When in doubt, stick to the call flow. Okay? Thanks, guys. Next, you have 20 seconds to catch your attention, all right? Let's get into the sales part of this. 20 seconds. Beginning of this call, you have to be upbeat. You have to be willing to help. You have to be enthusiastic. When someone's having a bad day and they don't produce well, what do? I listen to the first 6 minutes of their call. If they aren't, 1, sticking to the call flow, they don't do well. Or number 2, they sound annoyed. They sound like they're frustrated. The person hears that over the phone. And they don't want to listen to you. They don't want to deal with you. CMS also grades your tonality. If you sound like you're annoyed or frustrated with the person, that's unapproved tonality by CMS. That's a founded complaint.
Oh, man.
If you sound angry because they're not complying with you, that's a founded complaint. Why are you treating this senior citizen like this? Do they deserve that? Because you did a poor job of explaining? That's a founded complaint. You treated them with unacceptable tonality. No hard closing. Can't do it. And honestly, it's not necessary. Do you want somebody speaking to your family member like that? No, right? So same rules apply. I'll tell you this. Whenever I'm on the phone, I'm usually closing 1 out of 3 calls. 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3 every single day. My tonality is constantly upbeat, optimistic, and I'm genuinely excited to speak to the person because I know I'm closing 1 out of 3 of them. Does that make sense?
And appreciative tonality as well.
We have to be sincere, appreciative of their time. It's so precious to them. You have to be that way on the phone. If someone's having a bad day, normally what happens is they take it out on their tonality and then their sales follow suit or lack thereof. We got to always ask the questions. Product's going to sell itself. Unlike U65, we can stand behind the benefits of this thing. Never skip a question. We never skip questions. We always have to ask the right questions. The questions that are on this call guide or call flow will allow us to figure out what this person's encountering. If we look at the call flow and we open it up, on the first page of the pre-enrollment call flow, it's going to ask them, number 1, do you have Medicare Parts A and B? If they don't have A and B, can we help them?
No.
Nope. Have a great day. Move on. Next on there is going to be the scope of appointment. That's in gray. The scope of appointment will state, before we get started, I want to let you know that GetMeMedicare.com offers Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare Supplement plans, and standalone prescription drug plans. Do I have your permission to discuss all plan types that we offer in order to find a plan that best fits your needs? Did I say every word on there? Did I skip any word?
No.
That's called a scope of appointment. Scope of appointment is mandatory before you can proceed and interpret any benefits. So Eric, if somebody's saying, how much is this going to cost? And I don't get the scope of appointment, I'm in violation of CMS rules. Scope of appointment is allowing me to market to them. It's allowing me to interpret benefits. I needed a definitive yes response from the scope of appointment.